guys, welcome back to 42 Pros, and today's video is all about the Tamron 35-150, just like the title says. First impressions, and my first impressions are phenomenal lens. Flat out, this could be an absolute game changer for a lot of people, and I don't say that lightly because the focal ranges and stuff we'll talk about here, it provides a lot of flexibility for just about everybody, and yeah, great lens. I've had it for 2 weeks. I've used it for 2 different photo shoots, a single day, then a 2-day photo shoot, and man, oh man, yeah. That's all I'm gonna say is yes. So, great lens. Build quality, typical Tamron build quality, okay? Has that same black matte finish, same construction. The feel of it is very, very familiar because if you have a 28-75, you'll feel right at home with the textures and stuff. The rings, the zoom rings and stuff, smooth and consistent, has the right amount of friction for a extension barrel zoom lens. The focus ring is extremely smooth. And the cool feature about this one, I didn't realize it until after I bought it and took it home and started using it, but this apparently can be used and programmed to be an aperture ring. Thank you, Tamron. That's kind of cool. So if you need to worry about doing some smooth exposure changes, there you go. You got that option. Better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Thank you for the extra, Tamron. Weather sealed body, okay? So the gasket here on the lens collar is very good. Matter of fact, when I first put it on, I was like, man, is this lens gonna lock in? And then finally click, it did finally lock in. So dust and all that good stuff shouldn't creep in between your rings here. The gasket shouldn't be good. It should be good to go there with water and dust and all that. The only challenge I have with the weather sealing is this USB-C port that will be used for firmware updates. It doesn't have an insert, like a rubber insert that you can put in there to help keep it protected, help keep debris and stuff out of it. Although Tamron says that this port is weather sealed, still, it's going to end up being like a phone, which I don't have mine right here next to me. You're cleaning out them dust bunnies and stuff all the time. Simple solution, put a little gaff tape over it, and you're good to go. Not duct tape, please do not put duct tape. No duct tape, please, no. Gaff tape over top of it, just, and you should be good to go. It'll help keep that stuff out, especially for those that are like me in the outdoor industries, filming, hiking and stuff. Dust and particles and twigs and all that stuff will find its way in there. So why not go ahead and cover it up and keep it protected a little bit better, a little bit longer. Focal ranges, 35-150. Holy smokes, Tamron. You just shot yourself in the foot, and I don't think you really realize it. The 70-180 is probably obsolete now, and this is why, okay? In this lens, you have the 35, your 50, your 85, your 105, and your 135, all in one lens, all in one lens. Granted, it is f2-2.8, but still, that is workhorse. That is the focal ranges that a lot of people use the majority of the time, 35-135. And the 70-180 is gonna be, I really think not that many people's gonna buy it now that this lens is out and about and in the wild. Me personally, you stick this onto an A6600, which I recently upgraded to from a 6400, then you essentially you get the equivalence of a 52 to 225 millimeter lens at f2.8. That's pretty nifty. So that would cover a lot of different projects, and we'll talk about that here at the end when I do my recommendations on who should get it. As far as quality goes, man, this thing is sharp, but it's typical Tamron, you know. My 28-75 has been sharp since day one. You know, I have used the 17-28, and that one was pretty sharp, you know. If you're a pixel peeper, I'll put it in the cards for Dustin Abbott's definitive review of this lens, and he really gets into the details, and he does some digging, so to speak, and you'll get to see how sharp this lens is. in the corners, in the mid-range, in the middle of the focus area of each of these different focal ranges and stuff. And long or the short, I'll kind of be a spoiler. He says it's a great lens, okay? But yes, the contrast, the image that it produces, it has that warmth. It's just a good image, you know, from a photography standpoint. Video world, same thing. You know, I haven't seen in either place, video or photography, where the bokeh is overly distracted. It seems to be really clean. I hadn't seen a lot of oniony type bokeh. The cat's eye, which I hadn't really tested for yet, hadn't had a chance to really, to see how extreme the cat's eye could be, but nothing has jumped off the page to me. Chromatic aberration, again, it hadn't jumped off the page at me. And I've been through about, with this lens, probably about 3,000 to 4,000 photos. So in that range of photos, I would assume that at least some of them would jump off the page at me if it was having issues with these things. But yeah, it's great. The autofocus is snappy, very quick. It acquires its targets very fast, you know, even from extreme distances. So from up close to, you know, far away, you know, and that's at all the focal ranges. The video autofocus is extremely good, even on the 6600. So no issues there. Matter of fact, on that, and I'll show you a clip here, the day I got it, I took it home and I want to do a quick autofocus test of this lens on the 6600. And as you'll see in this clip, I had my wonderful videographer, AKA my wife, go out there with me and film me shooting a bow and arrow, okay? This bow can shoot the arrows at roughly 280 feet per second, which is pretty fast, okay? You can do the math to see what that would be in kilometers or miles per hour. But 280 feet per second, okay? So it's focusing on my back shoulder and my elbow area, okay, as I have the bow drawn back. And then we timed it to where she would switch to the target as I shoot the arrow, and you can see how quick it changed in 120 frames per second. That's pretty quick. I was very impressed with it. But again, the target acquisition of autofocus and video seems to be very, very good. So your touch to focus responsiveness is very nice. The sensitivity for my cameras right now is set right to the middle. So it can get a little bit better and maybe a little bit slower, a little bit quicker, a little bit slower, depending on what you want to have there for your sensitivity. But the quality's there. I mean, you can see the image here. Yeah, the autofocus is awesome, but the images are great. Can't complain whatsoever. So who would this be for? Literally, it could be for anybody. There will be some caveats to that because of the quality there. The thing I did not mention was the lens flare, so maybe not the extreme high-end professional photographer, the purist, if you will. The lens flare will be a distraction for them. At one point, I asked one of my clients here in the past week or so, I said, hey, do the lens flares bother you, or can we leave them in, or what? Unfortunately, they wanted to leave them in just because it added a creative flair for what they were doing. So I didn't have to worry about it too much, but you can probably reframe a little bit and minimize the ghosting in the lens flare so you can clean it up in post. But the purist will not like it, okay? So other than that, pretty much anybody, okay? The hobbyist, if you got the money, because this is a pricey piece of glass, yes, and especially if you're a hobbyist now looking to move into side hustle, maybe professionally down the road, because it's a full frame piece of glass, f2-8 or f2 to f2.8. So you can probably get, you know, maybe 70%, 75% of your money back out of it if later on down the road you want to upgrade and change lenses. So yeah, the side hustle folks, the prosumer, if you will, most definitely, because this will change what you can do, what you can produce, okay, from a photography or video world. The flexibility that 35-150 f2.8, yeah, it can add a whole another dynamic to what you can produce in video or photography that would probably set you apart. And if you're looking to go full time, that might be one of those things that help you get there, you know? Yes, it is $1,900, basically $2,000 with tax in US dollars, but it will produce a very, very, very good image for you. The run-of-the-mill, I guess, full-timers like me, absolutely, because of what it can do. I mean, these focal ranges is the workhorse. Like I've already mentioned, the 35, 50, 85, 105, 135, this covers it all. So if you are a photographer that primarily does weddings, absolutely. A photographer that does portrait photography, absolutely. If you are a videographer that does weddings, events, corporate stuff, absolutely. I mean, getting full frame camera at 150 f2.8, the compression you can get out of that for an interview, that looks awesome. But then you can switch it up and have the 35 at f2. That adds a whole nother different flair, you know? A lot of flexibility there. If you are a Sony video camera, professional level, like cinema level, yes, with a slight caveat, because this does not have vibration compensation, the VC, or vibration control, whatever they call it. It's not in this lens. So, being that those cameras don't have IBIS, maybe not. Like if you're doing a lot of handheld work, just be mindful, you know, really work on your style and your technique to maybe minimize your vibrations. But with a shoulder rig type setup, you're already going to minimize that because of the multiple points of contact. But the focal ranges, if you're a tripod guy or any kind of camera assisted support system guy, then or girl, then absolutely, this lens is phenomenal. Now I have not tested the linear focus pulls yet to see how accurate and repeatable that is yet. Hopefully I can get that done here in the next couple of days or weeks or so, you know, as my projects kind of wind down a little bit. But otherwise, the image is great. The focal ranges, I can't get over that. 35-150 at f2.8. That is going to be phenomenal for a lot of people. So yeah, I would highly recommend to anyone that's looking to get it, to really truly get it, even that high-end professional, just to try it out. You never know, because if you do corporate event stuff or any type of event where, I mean, that's just, yeah, Tamron outdid themselves, and I'm glad because I'm benefiting from it. But that's pretty much it, guys. If you got questions, hit me up below, comments, and if you have specific tests that you want to maybe, you know, see if I can do, if I got time to do, then definitely let me know and I'll see what I can do. Yeah, great lens, Tamron. Awesome job once again. This is probably going to stay on my camera, at least one of them, all the time, just because this lens is such a workhorse type lens that I'm going to be using a lot of. But that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you know, the good old YouTube stuff, thumbs up down below. And until next time, guys, get the gear that's right for you, because only you can do your projects. Since we usually only have one chance to get it right, why not do it right and just do it once? Until next time, guys, we'll see you in the next video.